Everybody, welcome back or welcome to the channel. We're covering all things Marvel Snap here. I wanted to do more of a news type video, some information that came out. Some of you might already be aware of this. I wanted to give some commentary on my thoughts for two major, well, yeah, I'll call them major changes that are coming to the game. First, as you can see on the screen here, I'm on the official Marvel Snap Discord. So I came here, or I saw this, and you're probably all already aware of this, but the Verse Your Friends battle mode. This is coming out hopefully today. Whenever we get our update, it might already be out by the time you see this video. So I want to give some preemptive speculation discussion to this. I am very excited to see something like this. In some previous games that I'd played, I was really excited that they did include things like this. But it's always about the implementation and as far as how the execution goes, if it's really fun or not. Now, I think it's going to be fun regardless. But to me, it's always about the time that you've got. So like I would like to do this, like, let's test decks out together. Let's see how this goes. Let's try different things, or you know what? One of the things that I could see happening even on this channel, tournaments. I'd love to set up tournaments for this. You'll see a lot of different creators doing tournaments. So you always got to be careful with that. Sometimes terms of service can make things a little funky there. But the gameplay. So for me, the biggest thing with stuff like this, like I said, is time. What I'm assuming that when you do these battle modes, it's just a sandbox that impacts the game in no other way other than playing with your friends. I presume there's not going to be a ranking mode. I presume there's not going to be any rewards or mats received from this. Anytime that you do include things like mats or rewards or, anything along those lines, you'll you introduce a situation where somebody could have a bot running, a screen, clicker running, and just doing these things all day to get mats or whatever, which tends to be a big reason why developers won't put stuff like that in game. So I think it's probably just going to be a fun, let's compete sort of thing. So I definitely want to do this with my friends. If you're watching this video and you know me, definitely friend me or whatever we need to do in game to be able to battle Wolverthor. That's the name in game. So looking forward to it. But again, I really hope that they keep this simple, and I hope that it is something that we feel like, you know what, I still want to play the game. I need a break from the ranked mode, and now I'll be able to do this. And that's the part that I think I like the most out of stuff like this, is when you just need a general break from the ranked mode, and you don't want to impact your ranking, but you want to play certain things. Now, one thing I would be interested in about with this is if it lets you for your gray card, any gray cards that you get, I would love to see in this game mode if you're still able to get boosters for only gray cards, that if you use them in this setup, because that allows you to truly test things out. Now, is it the end of the world if they don't know? It's not, because you're tested it here, you feel good about it. So then when you go in the ranked situation, even with a gray card that you've not played a lot in a ranked mode, you should have played it enough in here where you feel comfortable in playing that deck. So either way, like if you get boosters here or not, it's not that big of a deal. Would it be nice for some grays? Maybe, because maybe you have a gray that you just hate and you're never going to play it in a ranked mode. And it's like, well, I'd like to get that to at least, uncommon, so that I can get the most efficiency out of that card, which we did a video on that if you want to check it out on the channel. Again, this is the second channel that we've got, or it's my second created channel. It's one of my main content channels now for specifically covering Marvel Snap, but check that video out if you're curious about the most efficient ways to do stuff like that. So I'd like to see that, maybe they do that with some grays in there, while, like I said, the first part of it is nice. You are going to get a situation where you're not going to always run into a card that you want to play in ranked modes, and it would be nice to be able to not impact your cube counts and be able to rank that card to at least, uncommon, like I said. So a lot of things that they have in here. Now, Ben Brood talked about the Ball Engine team. It was able to implement cross-region matchmaking for launch. So that's pretty exciting. I think that could be very, very cool. I would love to see that where it is a global sort of thing, to be able to do the friend matchmaking. Now, come to the Discord in the description below. I would love to try to grow you know, not just my community in Snap, but, you know, the community in Snap for stuff like this cross region. In some of the other games that I've done, I've definitely reached out to some folks in Asia to try to talk. And there's a lot of tools out there to be able to translate languages so that you can, you know, chat in forums, etc. about everything. So definitely come over and check that out. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Talks about it's coming, yay. They're almost here, which at this point, this was yesterday. Again, they're just really hyping up this battle thing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about here that they have is upcoming balance deets. Now, Glenn Jones here, and you know, Ben's talking about it. The new patch includes balance changes, but not to Surfer or Zabu, which is something that a lot of people are calling for. I think for speaking from experience with Zabu, you know, it is a good deck. It's a great beginner's deck. That's the thing that I really love about it, is that, you know, it allows a beginner to push further along in the rankings. And the rankings don't do that much. It's not like you're going to be infinite and like top end ranked or something like that. And as far as I can tell, there's not like major changes or rewards you're going to get for it. So I like that Zabu's like that. Surfer, while I have not gotten Surfer or anything, I do know that he's a card that a lot of people do think is like huge to the meta. Again, Snap.fan always coming through. If you're not familiar with Surfer, he's a three cost card, zero power, and on reveal give your other 3 cost cards 3 power. So it's a really nice card for feeding other cards. And I know a lot of people sort of they feel like this card's a little bit too OP. I haven't specifically come across it. Now, if you're not for some reason familiar with the Zabu card, I'm assuming you are if you're watching this at all, but this is one of the more, I'd say, stronger cards in the game. I love it, like I said, for beginners, because it really does help with your 4 cards, making them a much stronger, and you can build up. Now, I will say that I lose plenty, and I think I'm a decent player. I don't think I'm great necessarily, but I think I'm decent. I lose plenty with this card. So while I could understand it, like top echelon, you know, there's some nerfs needed for certain things or some adjustments. I hope that they try to factor in some of the early stuff as well. So anyway, those are the 2 cards that they're talking about there, and there's a reason that I went through those. He goes on to say, they started overperforming after we locked changes a few weeks ago. Fortunately, we now have the ability to adjust balance without a new patch, and we are planning to adjust those cards in a week or so. So while he initially says that the new balance isn't going to affect Surfer or Zabu, he goes back to say they're going to change Surfer and Zabu. So I want to talk about that a little bit more than what I was just saying. So again, I can only speculate on the Surfer stuff because I haven't had personal experience sort of playing with that one. But I do know that everybody talks about sort of how much of a pain it is. I personally get a little, I don't know, tentative with changing cards that anyone maybe is paid for, whether it be money or tokens in game, because, you know, someone might have saved up all their tokens, bought Surfer, and then when you come back and you change it, it's like, well, I would have never bought Surfer with those tokens, or maybe I wouldn't have paid for Zabu. So I get really, I don't know, queasy or concerned about any time stuff like that happens. And I'm sure the developers are too. So I really hope that they consider, you know, if you did buy something with tokens that, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what they do, is like refund you half of them or something if you don't. But then at the same time, you could just claim that, you know, I don't want this card. Now you'd have to give the card back. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not. So the one I want to focus on here is Zabu. I hope that they really are careful with what they do to Zabu, because if they make this like a 4 or 5 cost card, I mean, I think it's gonna, at least at the lower levels, it's gonna really fall off. I mean, I don't even know if I'd use it, or I definitely wouldn't build a deck around it. You know, if I got it, I'd be like, okay, maybe here. So like, what are you gonna do? Like, hope that you get, you know, your Zabu card on turn 5, or have it, know that you're gonna get it on or play it on turn 5 if it's 5 energy, and then drop what, 2 to 3, originally 4 cards on your 6th turn. Well, it's like, okay, well, you're not pairing, if Zabu's 5, you're not pairing it with Devil Dinosaur at this point anymore, because you can't, I mean, you could play Devil Dinosaur if you get it or if you have it on the 6th turn, and hopefully maybe play Moon Girl earlier than that, so you've already got a giant hand in there. But I feel like if you've got to get really lucky with the RNG to get both those cards in your hand, knowing that you're going to have them for that last play. So that's where I get a little concerned with what they're saying there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below on that. I know I'm going to probably get a range of what people think because based on where you're at in the game. My talk mainly comes from the beginners, level concern. I'm a little worried that people are going to have a hard time building up if they're beginners. Now, again, the game it tends to seem free-to-play friendly, and I hope that they keep it that way because I mean, that's a big reason why I came over is I was too worried that it would be, too pay to win. But right now, I don't feel like it is. So, and there's definitely some skills in it, but if I feel like I can only get the top-notch cards through tokens, which maybe I have to pay for or something, then I don't know. All right, so then it goes on to talk about some peek behind the scenes. It says the Zabu thing again. The new it talks about Zabu again, and then it just has some goodies ready for battle mode day. So that's the two things that I really wanted to cover the most here. Like I said, I'm super excited for the battle mode. I want to see what that's like, but I'm a little concerned about what they've got going for the Zabu Nerf, mainly the Zabu Nerf. I mean, selfishly and for beginners, because that's sort of where I'm at with the game. So anyway, let me know your comments below. Again, if you'd like to share this with any friends, families, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephew, grandma, grandpa, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel for Snap. This is going to be dedicated to Snap. I think it's a fun game. Appreciate it. Hammer that like button. Until next time, hope you have a wonderful day.